All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm back. Yeah, I'm not going to explain why I'm making a video when I said I was not going to be able to. Just know that I'm in a position to make this video now. Alrighty. Let's see. What are my overall thoughts? I was actually, you know what? Before I actually even go into this episode, I'm going to talk about something that kind of flew over my head slash really didn't factor in because it didn't come off to me that way. So if you don't know, let's just say people were not happy about Lois last week. I don't go on Twitter very often, but let's just say when I went on Twitter, it was a lot of not so. Let's just say there was lots of arguments about Lois and about her reaction to, finding out, or rather confronting Clark about him being Superman and about him not telling her and all this other kind of stuff. I will just say, I understand the argument, or I understand the rationale about why people were upset with Lois because they thought, well, it's not his secret. It's not, it's his secret to tell. You can't force it out of him. You can't just come in and demand it. All this other kind of stuff, and I get it. Um, I know some people kind of equated her to kind of like Amber from Invincible. Now, I will be upfront with you. Anybody who's familiar with the Amber, what happened with Amber in Invincible, I kind of go there. Those are Amber was a whole different thing altogether, in my eyes at least. Lois, I didn't take it as seriously. Now I do agree, Lois jumping off the building was stupid. So again, just wanted to kind of bring that up because I didn't really pay attention like that. Sure, was it a little shitty on her part to kind of force that out of him? Sure, or at the very least try to get him to reveal it in such a inappropriate and flat out just disgusting manner. There's an argument to be had, and quite frankly, I can understand it. And I even partially agree with it. So, the only reason why I bring that up is because this episode is kind of finally resolved it, slash, yeah, it kind of resolved it. So, when we left off, Jimmy got kidnapped, and so Lois and Clark go looking for him. Very simple. Obviously, Lois is mad. Again, I know people are going to be annoyed. Because again, why is she the one who's upset when it should be Clark? But again, it is what it is, right? If this is the direction the writers want to take it, I'm going to see it out and see, is it bad, is it good, how they handle this. Yes, in the moment it was bad. This episode kind of resolved it, slash kind of, it was finally water under the bridge kind of thing. But again, this is going to probably leave a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths moving forward and probably ruin the show for some people. Again, that is totally up to you. I was able to tolerate it simply because, look, let's be honest, there's enough shitty television out there. The lowest moment was just such a didn't even register on my mind. So I don't know what that says more about my sense of taste being that numbed out or how much shit I'm willing to tolerate. I have no clue. Anyway, so they go looking for him. They go into the forest where he was taken. Now, they obviously talk, and Clark is trying to explain himself to her and all this other kind of stuff, and is struggling. And we get to a moment that kind of revealed the crux of the issue for Lois. The whole thing was, at least from what I understood, was it wasn't necessarily about the whole thing of him hiding, being Superman from her. It wasn't that. It was the possibility that his feelings for her were not real and was simply kind of like him trying to like use her to help hide him being Superman, like help him camouflage even more. So I'm going to assume that was the main crux of her problem is in her eyes she went, you don't trust me enough, so therefore that means is your feelings for me are not real. Obviously Clark goes, that's kind of stupid, or at the very least he's like, no, I actually like you. Now, this is where I'm going to go into Jimmy's part. I don't mind them trying to make Jimmy more of a character, but this is when he meets two people. Now, I was right. It was Gorilla Grodd. Ha. I was fucking right. But it wasn't just Gorilla Grodd, it was also the brain. Now, I'm going to say something. This was the oddest version of these two I have ever seen. It was interesting, but I'm not gonna lie to you, it was bizarre for like most of the episode, right? Because the last time I saw Gorilla Grodd was literally like the Young Justice version, or any of them where he's literally a bad guy, right? Same thing with the Brain. And in this one, they are gay lovers, I think, right? I think that like they called each other like I think Gorilla Grodd called the Brain his lover. I don't remember, but it doesn't really matter. It was just something that just like, caught me off guard. I was like, okay, I was not expecting this. I'm like, okay, this is the way you want to roll. It's the way you want to roll, right? And then so Jimmy is getting along with them, right? And they had a nice tour, and it proves like all the fucking conspiracy theory stuff about like the Loch Ness monster and all this other kind of shit you can imagine are real. Not shocking, but you know, it is what it is. Then obviously Clark and Lois get to the get to the facility. During that whole chase scene, by the way, I actually forgot to mention this. During the chase scene for Lois and Clark, while they were being, while the robots were going after them, Clark's powers were weakened. Why? Because of a red sun, or rather, the effect that a portal was, or rather, the deflector. Because he said when he was trying to look for Jimmy, he couldn't see anything, and yet when he walked through like this energy dome, everything became red for him. And I went, oh, so this is like this gives off like the effect of a red sun for him. Okay. So again, his powers are weakened, so he could barely fly, for God's sakes. Hell, he was barely strong enough to repel some of the robots. And so, obviously, big fight happens. They defeat the robots by using a black hole. Is it a little over the top? Yes. But I'm not shocked. Right, it is what it is. And then they kind of have like a touching kind of moment. Yeah, they had a nice touching little moment outside. And so, this is kind of where Lois and Clark kind of cleared things up. Also, and I should say this much, Clark was like, by the way, Jimmy, I want to tell you I'm Superman. And then he literally pulled the Amber card where he said, oh, I already knew you were Superman, like, since, like, our first year of college together. Now, again, he didn't hold it against him, and he literally said what I thought was reasonable. He's like, I knew it was a sensitive topic for you, and so I didn't want to pressure you, and I thought I'll just wait until you were ready. If we're going to go by American college standards, that is 4 years. That was about 4.5, 5 years we're talking here. It's a pretty long fucking time, and, maybe Jimmy might have more of a claim to be upset than Lois, but again, at the end of the day, it is Clark's secret to tell. So this was interesting to see. Like I said, the reason why I didn't react to the Lois thing as much is because I kind of figured, well, they'll probably resolve this in some manner. And guess what? Now both Jimmy and Lois know. And it's all cool now. And it seems like Lois and Clark are now a thing. Now, the Brain warned Clark saying, hey, those robots were not there. Or rather, we didn't put them there. So somebody was camping out for either us or for you. Because again, he mentioned, while they didn't say the red sun, oh, actually, you know what, Grodd did say the energy field kind of replicates like a red sun effect. Now, obviously, they don't know that affects Clark in the manner that we're all familiar with, but they did mention that. And also, the Brain did tell Clark, hey, all this stuff reacted to you. All this technology reacts to you. So keep your eyes out, because something weird is happening, and it involves you, buddy. It even offers Clark to come with him, because him and the Brain and Gorilla Grodd both leave through like the wormhole they created. But again, Clark says, no, I'm staying here. I'm staying here with the people I love. And Lois is immediately in the shot afterwards, so obviously that says clear cut in terms of his feelings for Lois, and pretty much settling the question of, yeah, things are good now. And then the last thing is General Lane, Lois's father, appears on site in what used to be like the room with the wormhole, or the black hole, I should say. Parasite is here. And, well, Lois's father was like, well, we're not going to stop until we bury Superman so deep under the ground nobody will be able to remember his name. I'm like, Jesus Christ, that's a hell of a threat. Yeah, this will be fun family dinner. I have a sneaking suspicion the meet the parents is or meet the father is a possibility in this season. That would be the most awkward family dinner ever. Anyway, that's about it. How did I like this episode? I thought it was okay. It was it was pretty straightforward. Things are mended. As much as I know people are going to say, really, Lois shouldn't have been mad in the first place, and I agree with that sentiment. Jimmy obviously was not mad in the slightest bit, so I like the fact that Jimmy went, hey, it's your secret, I'm going to respect that boundary and let you come to me with it. Right? I like that. Um, as for Gorilla Grodd and Brain, I thought it was neat. Not even neat. I thought it was different that they tried. You know, it was something different they tried with Gorilla Grodd and Brain. I don't know how much I'm a fan of it, but, you know, at the end of the day, look, if I wanted to see, you know, what I would typically like to see out of those two, I could just go watch Young Justice or even Teen Titans or any other, like, DC property that they're depicted in. So it's not the biggest deal in the world. This is the advantage and the disadvantage of kind of like the different continuities and different Earths and all this other and different universes kind of shit. Where, look, if you wanted to see Gorilla Grodd and Brain be in a gay relationship, there you go. I got, you know, I is what it is. That covers most of my thoughts. Is there anything else I have to say about the show? I appreciate the fact that they finally said, okay, we're going to cut it here. And we're not going to extend this bullshit out the rest of the season. So thank God. Thank God for that. There was a fight. Like I said, this was kind of like one of those episodes where it's just kind of like more filler slash kind of some inklings of like plots for the future. And again, I'm cool with that. Sometimes in some of these shows you need it. I kind of wish there was a little bit more meat on the bones, but again, this was more about just trying to like fix the friendship slash relationship stuff here. Now I'm, you know, who the fuck knows what's gonna be for next episode, but I'm looking forward to it. Anyway, folks, I've rambled enough. Thank you guys for watching. You know, please leave your thoughts down below in the comments section and subscribe because it's free. That's the best argument I got for you. It's free.